While waiting for our new Leopard 45 catamaran in France, we explore the Great Sandy Straits of Australia. We go off the grid and enjoy a natural full-body mud bath. We also come face to face with a wild dingo. We also share tips on Med moorings and how to improve the comfort when you're anchoring close to shore. So kick off your shoes and come barefoot with us.
So here we are on the east coast of Australia, behind Fraser Island in the Great Sandy Strait. The first trip we take is less than 10 miles from Inskip Point up into Kauri Creek. From this drone shot you can see Mini Dash at anchor and Inskip Point, and up to the left in the distance is Kauri Creek. We set off with only our general up because I haven't yet rigged the main and the wind is favourable and behind us, and we're doing about 4 knots under this sail alone.
What do you like about this area, about sailing around here?
Well, that's lots of different anchorages in up creek, so you get a lot of protection. It's good to be in a shallow draft boat. You don't need to because you've got there's plenty of deep water anchorages as well, but lots of sand, lots of beautiful beaches. Fraser Island as well, it's just spectacular. You get to go aboard ashore there. There's freshwater lakes with white sand beaches around them. It's just phenomenal. So yeah, Sandy Strait, Fraser Island, Hervey Bay area, absolutely magic.
Dolphins! Dolphins! They were right there.
There they are.
There!
Right ahead.
Woohoo! Wow! Wow! Woohoo! Hey guys! Woohoo! Where'd you go? I see them! Woohoo! They're too shy. Right. Let's go. So this is where we are for tonight. John's found us a sweet little sanctuary in here, a little piece of paradise.
Superimposed. Got 2 paw prints superimposed on the previous ones.
Like back and front.
That might be a dog where it's stepping on its own footprints. So we are in no man's land. We're off the grid.
Off the grid. Oh, look what we found. Clay. I mean, I love clay anyway. We're both potters. But to find it in the rough, in the wild,
So there,
is something else.
in the sand on the edge of the water, is white clay, and we happen to notice alongside it in certain areas is red clay, or clay that's been stained red by something. We're gonna do a mud bath, are we?
Yeah.
Let's collect some and go back to a private beach. Let's do all of our bodies. What do you reckon? So maybe we should tell folk about how Med mooring works.
All right, well, you're the expert, Med mooring.
Okay, we're not in the Med, but this can be done anywhere. But classically it's called a Med mooring. So what you have is you have an anchor at the front and you tie on a shore at the back. Obviously in the Med you usually tie up to ports, harbour walls, that sort of thing, or trees in isolated anchorages where and this is really useful if the drop-off goes off really steep, or like we've got here a boat, we don't have a proper dinghy to get ashore, so you drop your anchor at the front, you reverse in and get a line either anchored to the shore or a line to the shore tied onto a tree or something secure, rocks, and then you are stable and you can step off the back of the boat directly onto shore. So let's show you.
The bow anchor, we've got probably, how much out? We've put probably
35 metre
yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Quite a long way, because when we came here, what was the tide like?
Well, it was low tide. So we were just letting the chain out and pulling us closer to the beach each time we needed to.
With the stern line, yeah.
Yeah,
so
with the stern line.
You can use the stern and the bow line.
It was easy. So
Yeah.
you didn't even have to get in the water because we can manipulate it from here,
Yeah.
which is really great.
Yeah, and you don't need to use the engine either.
No. So we've got the stern line tied on here and we've got it over to the tree. So each time the tide drops or we want to pull in closer, we just pull ourselves in via here. Say if it was high tide or we were right out there but we were still attached to the tree and we wanted to let go and not have to come all the way in, we could do bring the rope back to the boat and tie it on, so all we have to do is just let that go and then we just drive away.
And the rope, yeah, runs through. What I'm going to do is just tie this rope so we have the full length to go out in case through the night we want to move further out, either because of sandflies or because of rough weather.
Okay.
So the other really important thing when you're managing a boat with mooring lines and you're pulling this and there's a lot of tension, don't keep pulling on the end. This is called springing. Pull the rope in the middle. You get a lot more leverage, and then you can just pull the loose end in. So you spring and tighten it. Take up the slack. So
Good tip.
Called springing. But yeah, the beauty with this is as you see, we can step straight off the back of the boat onto the shore, and no tenders, no hassle. Beauty. Down to my knees. And I'm doing this just for you guys. Okay. This is a good fitness training. So, that I did for you guys. Feel honoured.
Alright, finally, the time has arrived where we're going to use our new green LED light, and we're going to hang it off the back of the boat and see what little critters come and visit.
3, 2, 1. Whoa!
So bright. And you know what? Even if we don't have any critters come visit, we can have a disco! What did you say?
I got a fish.
Got a fish.
A little fish. Late size fishy wishy. We got a bucket. A little fish. It's
Speared from the back of the boat.
Pretty pathetic.
With the green light.
Yeah, without actually going into the water. Okay, so here we are. I started gutting this here fish, but look at all the gutsy chicken. This fish has eaten so much chicken before I got him. So hopefully we got about as much fish out of him as we did from the chicken we threw in. So we'll have a mud bath later.
Okay folks, so we have the catch of the day for lunch that John speared last night off the back of the boat with the green light in the water as we were feeding them chicken. So there it is there, and I'm going to cook it up in the frying pan, and I've got some salt and pepper, some herb amare, some garlic, and obviously some lemon in a bottle. Lemon juice. A little bit excited. Here's Honey harvesting the mud, the clay.
And of course it's a little bit tricky because as soon as you do something the water all goes cloudy and you can't see anything.
I think that's going to be enough clay anyway. How big do you think my butt is? So the really cool thing about this mud too is that it's got a little bit of sand in it, so it acts as an exfoliator as well, so it gets rid of all the dry dead skin cells as well, and then the clay has really good enzymes for the skin.
How does it feel to be covered in?
It's wonderful. I'm drying and I'm starting to crack, so I need to go and wash it off. But it's lovely. So now it's his turn.
You get your clay ready?
I'm ready, baby. Shower anyone?
So how are you feeling after that?
Oh, lovely and fresh. Thank you. Time to get back to the boat. I think it's time for wine o'clock. Come and join me. So just when we got the camera out, we dropped half a knot. Isn't that always the way? Anyway, a word from the captain.
Well, we are sailing now up the Sandy Straits. So that's the water between Fraser Island, which is a sand island, huge big sand island, and the mainland. And this is a really beautiful channel, probably, I don't know, 40 miles long, quite difficult navigation, lots of sandbanks, lots of twists, but really beautiful, well protected, so it's a really nice place to sail. And we've got a wind on our aft quarter, so that means diagonally behind us, so it's really easy sailing too. We put the sails up doing about 5 knots, so that's nice, and sunny day, calm water, and life is good. Really, isn't it, honey?
Lovely. And you've got the auto helm on.
We've got the auto helm on. We haven't used that much before. I have tested it once before, but this is the first time we've used it in real life. So nice, means we free our hands and we can do other things as we're sailing along.
Yes, like
now,
hug your honey.
That's right. Actually, the reason we are getting less wind is because we're going behind the shelter of Fraser Island. I've just realised that. So because the Fraser Island is there on our right, quite high sand dunes and forests, that just shelters this passage of water and reduces the wind strength. So that's why we're sailing a bit slower, but we're not in any hurry. We've not got far to go. We're sailing about 12 miles to a place called Garry's Anchorage, which is on Fraser Island. So I've been told it's nice, so we'll see.
I've been in your waters, been knocking at your door. I know one thing for sure, I've never been so close before. You were truly my love, but it was over so fast. Just one thing.
So here we are at Garry's Anchorage. And honey just saw a dingo.
Just saw a dingo on the beach. So I said, oh, there's a dingo. And
Sure.
then it ducked into this bushes here.
Do you want to tell people what a dingo is, hon?
A dingo is a wild dog in Australia. It looks very much like this, and it's ginger in colour generally, with a kind of like a white belly, long legs and very sort of sleek belly. Yeah, it kind of looks like a fox around the head, but yeah, short head and the tail's long. They get very cheeky around campsites, so you've got to be careful not to leave your food out or anything like that because they are scavengers.
A bit like a bear,
Yeah, a bit like a bear.
except not nearly as big.
Not nearly as big, but they are quite ferocious.
But
They can do snarling.
they generally don't take adults unless they've got a pack. Is that true?
Yeah.
So we're here. There's a lake in there. There's a little lake here, although it's all covered in weeds, so we can't go in there. So we've come from the south up here into there. And then we'll go on up around here, probably to Kingfisher Resort. And also to get supplies from Harvey Bay or Urangan. Dugongs.
And they eat seagrass. They like the
Or manatees.
Americans' manatees.
Indeed.
The
Wow. One calf is only born every 3 to 7 years. And nurtured for 1.5 to 2 years. Wow. But they can live 70 years.
This is what you do for snakes, dingoes, crocodiles, sharks, spiders.
Or for a little bit of personal pleasure.
Yeah, so don't get in my way. You'll get a whipping.
So this is Garry's campsite. As you can see, a little bit overgrown, but they've got a few nice picnic chairs and tables and shelter from the sun or the rain. But and lovely big trees. Look at that. Here we have dingo footprints.
Dingo.
There. How did they berätta speak?
And the male dingo comes down to inspect
Foraging
the
for
perimeter,
food.
foraging for food for his family that could be starving.
So he sees humans and looks for a little one.
But not today. So
But-
he goes back to his family empty-handed or empty-pawed.
And here we can see the evidence of him stepping from there to there, going off in this direction, then down to the beach to find the humans.
Not smelling much. Of course, it could be a weed. Posing as a eucalypt tree to attract the unsuspecting bears. Koalas, that is. Actually, they're not bears, they're just koalas, but people call them koala bears, but that's wrong because they're not a bear by distinction. So, reading the signs up the top, let me get this straight. You got to be careful for estuary crocodiles, which inhabit the area, dingoes, which we've just seen on the beach, snakes, and there's also marine snakes in the water as well, so you've got to look out for those. There's also
Bull sharks,
bull sharks in the estuaries as well.
especially where there's dirty water.
And of course there's always redbacks, and that are sort of prevalent down south.
You better finish the redback.
Redback spiders.
Thank you.
So, and there could be funnel webs, trapdoors, spiders, or anything like that, because we're sort of further down south. But anyway, I think that pretty much covers it for the time
I
being.
think there's a few tiger sharks just to keep us
Oh
on
yeah, there is some tiger sharks.
Yum.
Yeah, some tiger sharks. So,
So don't we love living in paradise? We're a bit too far south to get stingers though. Marine
Well,
stingers.
isn't that a plus? It's been a beautiful day. It's been a beautiful sail. We've motor sailed some of the way, but the water's just glassed out. It's just been absolutely beautiful. So we've arrived here at Garry's Anchorage, and Garry was an indigenous guy that bushman that inhabited the area, brought his family up here and all that sort of thing,
Generations.
and lived off the land entirely. Oh, and off the sea. So,
Oysters.
yeah. We're in the Sandy Straits, right? So what that means is sand and very little rocks. So what do the poor oysters have to do? They have to take up residence on tree trunks. Look at that.
Which is pretty sad, because I'm sure the tree trunks rot and then they fall off before they've lived for, I don't know how many years oysters live for.
But I think we could probably crack a few of those bad boys open.
Very good.
Thanks for collapsing. being undermined probably from the global warming and the tides coming up higher and higher.
She
Maybe.
says intelligently.
How'd it sound?
So look what Ellie has made. So here we have a very optimistic mangrove.
But clearly, it's had a wind.
It's starting.
I reckon it must be some
stick
natural,
in, oh, there we go.
natural oxide right there.
That's weird. It comes in chunks.
Look at that. Wow.
Strange colour. It's like,
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
yeah, very bright.
Oh, here's one that's a little bit more orangey, isn't it?
Wow, it is too.
This is more yellow, it's lighter. Lighter colour. How cool is that? Is that clay?
More clay.
I think that's
That's it.
clay. Wow. It's like a... Wow, that is trippy stuff. It's almost like petrified. Like a petrified wood.
Oh, that does look like wood, doesn't it?
Look at that. It kind of looks like...
Oh, do you think it's rotting, dissolving wood?
Yeah, that's what
Oh, that's what it is. It's a... Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's a tree.
How amazing is
From
that?
how many million years ago?
Wow. It's all decomposing.
It must be an algae, do you think, making a colour then? I reckon it'll be an algae making it go bright orange.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden.
If you have liked this episode, hit the like button, subscribe for free, and ding the dong so you don't miss your fix of the next exciting episode. Love and health from the Barefoot Doctors.
Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring.